Hey, my name is Chaba. I'm the founder of Game of Conversions, and welcome to day 3 of the Proven Sales Letter Breakdown Challenge that I'm doing for 90 days. And today I've got a real treat for you because this is an ad from the legendary Gary Bencivenga. And if you haven't heard about Gary Bencivenga before, just know that he's the best living copywriter at the moment. He's retired now, but he had an average hit rate of around 80%. So that means that 80% of the long form promotions and ads he wrote consistently became controls, which means that they became proven winning ads that companies have been running for years or even decades. And this was such an ad that he wrote. And Gary is one of my personal copywriting heroes because his style, although his writing isn't so emotional like Gary Halbert's style, but Gary Bencivenga always says the thing that you need to hear in order to purchase something. Somehow his research process, his narrative style, somehow whatever he does, it just speaks to the core of your desires, and he always knows what to say. So this ad, the headline is pretty cool. It seems simple in the beginning, but we can dive deeper into it, and you'll see that there's a lot of meticulous detail inside here. So the headline says, "Shoestring businesses that you or your wife can start now and run in your spare time." So it's kind of like a promise type of headline. So it's pretty direct. There's no sophisticated story element or super big curiosity or something here. But I think it was Gary Halbert who said that uh, whenever you're struggling to find a big idea for your promotion, and you want to sell something simple like a book or something, then all you really need is like a headline, an introduction, lots of bullets to build desire for the given product, and a strong call to action. And as we go through this ad, you'll notice that this is exactly what Gary Bencivenga did. We have a headline, we have some brief introduction, and then we have basically the whole ad is made out of bullets and a simple call to action. That's it. And even though this was written in 1982, something like this could still work if you have a book, if you have an introductory offer, a tripwire offer or something. You can easily use something like this in a video sales letter or in a written sales letter as well. It would definitely work. So it's really that powerful. And the other thing I want to discuss before we dive deeper into the ad itself is that Gary Bencivenga came up with something called the Bencivenga persuasion equation. And this is basically a very simple structure, very simple but very effective structure that you need to go through whenever you want someone to do something, to purchase something, subscribe, or do whatever you want to do. So it has basically 4 parts. The first one is that your sales message has to speak to an urgent problem. Then you have to have a unique promise, but then you have to back your unique promise up with unquestionable proof, and then you have to give them a user-friendly proposition so that they buy. And if you have these 4 elements, then basically you've got persuasion. And it's really simple. I know it sounds simple, and we can complicate it. We could expand it to 100 times more complicated, but we don't have to. Just notice as we go through this how, we have maybe not an urgent problem, but we definitely have a unique promise. We have lots of unquestionable proof, and Gary Bencivenga was huge on proof marketing to back everything up with proof, and we have a user-friendly proposition. And that's it, basically. That's all the thing you need. So let's see the headline a little bit. So the first thing that jumps out is the shoestring, which presupposes that this is achievable for anyone. So shoestring businesses, you don't have to be a business mogul or you don't have to have an MBA to start a complicated business. No, simple but effective businesses that you or your wife, this is again very important because think about it, big decisions like starting a business are made at a family level. And you don't just have to, as a copywriter, you don't necessarily only have to sell the person who's reading this. you also have to sell their spouse. You have to basically give them reasons. You have to give them reasons why, when they take this sales message to their wife, to their family, or to their husband, um, it has to be easily conveyable that, hey, this is why we should do something like this. This is why I should do, or you should do something like this. Because even though we're in the 80s, a lot of women were starting to start businesses on their own, and maybe they have an even better idea than their husbands, okay? So Gary assumed that most people reading this ad, and it was in a newspaper, again, notice how it looks like a newspaper. It doesn't really look like an ad, but it is. So these were men who were reading this, but maybe their wife also had good ideas to start like an organic, I don't know, food business or something like that. And basically what we're selling here is a book called A Treasury of Business Opportunities. That's it. And inside the book, there are tons of ideas on what you can do and how you can start these businesses. But it's really good to qualify other significant people inside our target audience's life, because then the selling becomes way easier. And you can prevent like fights breaking out between them, which means they'll get confused, which means they'll never buy. Also, now is important because people, like the target audience for this, doesn't want like long-term plans and super complicated businesses. They want to start something now which is easily achievable and run in your spare time. Again, this presupposes that it's something that doesn't involve much work. It can be easy. It can even be enjoyable. It can almost be like a hobby, but while still making a lot of money in the process. So the first part of the ad itself, which is until this point, so it's really short actually, it's all proof. So basically, it starts with proof and credibility of David D. Seltz, who's the spokesperson for this ad. Gary just mentions how, he's written 12 books, published over 2,000 articles, he's been featured here and there, and check this out, like it's super specific. How could you not believe something like this? How could you not believe something like he has spent 14 months researching 18,292 small business opportunities to compile the first complete directory of the most profitable small businesses you can start in your spare time for under $1,000, many under $5,000. So in just a simple paragraph, Gary managed to provide unquestionable proof, provide super specifics, provide the big unique promise. Why is this unique? Because it's probably the only report that has compiled so many business opportunities that you can start on a shoestring budget. Okay, so it's just unique selling proposition and unique promise and unique mechanism. Everything just packed into a simple, very simple, but highly effective paragraph. And that's why I love Gary Bencivenga so much, because he always knows what to say. It doesn't sound like fluffed up, or it's not so emotional or powerful. It doesn't have super powerful emotional words like John Carlton's copy, but it knows exactly what to say and when to say it. So again, we have stuff like published for anyone, which is qualification. It basically assumes that this is achievable by pretty much anyone. And then we jump into the bullets. And as we can see, we have bullet after bullet after bullet. And although some of these bullets, most of them in fact, are like several lines long, and in modern day copywriting, you shouldn't really have paragraphs which have several sentences. Like you should only have like a single idea per sentence, or like at most 2-3 sentences per paragraph. But probably the reason why Gary used longer paragraphs here is because he didn't have the space for it. Nowadays, we have tons of space to write as long as we want, because we can just make the website as long as we want, the page is long, and this ad in a modern form could actually be longer because the bullets would all be separate bullets, okay? So some of these paragraphs include 3 different types of bullet ideas. Those could definitely be separated nowadays. But due to the constraints of this specific format, that's why Gary did it like this. So right off the bat, we start again with proof and case studies, like how Michael S. makes $50,000 a year in a small community by providing little known, simple service needed by the graduating class of every school and college. So this was probably the how to make 6 figures back in those times, or even more. So $50,000 was quite a bit of money then. But it serves as proof, and it also serves as promise. So I really like it. And it also qualifies people because he talks about students, like he's qualifying students now. The next bullet qualifies people who have land because it talks about how to make money if you have land. And notice how many specifics we have. We have specific numbers everywhere, and this again serves as a proof element on its own. So it's really cool to include it. And we also have objection handling techniques, like he makes the promise, but then he says no equipment, no investment, no employees needed. So how can you not want that? Also, we have other additional proof/case study elements, like how James P. charges $2,000 for a simple service most businesses need, but few people are aware of. He doesn't even advertise. So he's so successful, he doesn't even advertise. This is a huge pain point for our target audience because people are always stressing where their next customer or lead is going to come from, and they need advertisement for that. But how about you can get so successful you don't even have to advertise? It's pretty cool. Another type of proof, plus promise plus curiosity, all in one bullet. So check it out. How Ronald P. earns $100 per week on a $200 investment, supplying a service needed by most storefront merchants. So it has everything. Then we have another bullet which has like a unique promise, plus also qualifies religious people. So this is a huge segment of a potential audience that Gary could use. So the bullet says you learn about a unique new product. So we have the uniqueness that's selling like wildfire to religious people and gives you a 500% markup. So again, this just has everything. It's really good bullets, which could also serve as headlines, but Gary didn't use any of these bullets as a headline. He used like a macro headline, which kind of groups everything together without actually giving away what we're talking about. So I think it's really powerful. Also, we have expressions like you can run it out of a phone booth, which again presupposes that this is simple, easy, and anyone can do it. Then we have something like this is just the beginning. It's powerful because at this point, if people think that, oh, this is too good to be true, well, wait till you hear this. And then we have even more bullets. And these just pile on benefits and opportunities and opportunities. And notice how in each of these bullets, there's a bunch of benefits and there's a strong promise in each one. But, and this is very important, Gary doesn't reveal what they are exactly. It just says that this is something and this is the promise and this is what's unique about it, but he doesn't tell you what exactly is. And this is really important for bullets because you want to build up curiosity in people so much that they actually, the only way to solve this problem of having this huge amount of curiosity is to buy the book. So at some point, if you build enough curiosity, it becomes easier for people to just buy the damn book rather than to live with all these questions like, what could this be? What could this nice opportunity be? It's really powerful. Then we have, just to give you a good example of a curiosity element, check out this bullet. You'll discover a product that costs pennies to make, sells for $5, and is wanted by thousands in just about every community. And you'll be shown how to start an exclusive club as well, which can bring you more than $50,000 a year from people who feel privileged to pay you a hefty membership fee just for the right to belong. So although these are two different ideas, and that's why I said in modern promotions this would be separated into two separate bullets, but it's just so powerful, and it's like, what could it be? Like, I want to know that. What could it be? Then we have some mysterious bullets as well, like you'll read about the dead flower strategy that requires only one visit per customer per month, yet gives back up to $25,000 per year in return. So again, dead flower, like what could that be? Could it be something like, if I have a flower shop and if I have dead flowers, I can sell even them? Like, I'm just so perplexed. And this is a great example, again, of bullets that create fascinations, that create like, oh my God, I just want to know this. And check this out as well. You'll discover how to get people all over your community to gladly lend you their cars, and then just as gladly pay you up to $50,000 a year to perform one simple, non-mechanical act with those cars. So the curiosity level is just over 9,000 at this point, and the aim of good copy and the aim of good bullets is to make the reader feel like, I can't take it anymore. I need to find out what these ideas are. And in many cases, like they'll put away this ad and they'll not think about it. But like in the evening, during the night when they can't sleep, many times they won't be able to sleep because their minds are just going to chew through all these ideas, and they'll be thinking like, oh my God, like, yes, I should start a business and it would be life-changing, but what can I do? Yeah, well, that ad talked about that opportunity to do something with cars, but then he also talked about starting like a club, but they also talked about this and that and that, and I can't take it anymore. I cannot sleep until until I discover these secrets. That's what you want in good copywriting, and that's what I think this ad managed to accomplish. And we have even more like unquestionable proof elements, remarkable stories. We have uh, like preemptive objection handling elements, like depression proof. So at this point, some people might say, yeah, this sounds really cool, but what if, like I fail after a year or something? No, this idea is this depression proof as well. So it's really powerful. We have even more benefits, even more specifics. Check it out. We have numbers like $22, $8, $85. So how could this not be believable? Because who would spend time just to make up stuff like this? And then bullets after bullets after bullets. This is what I called, it's a benefit tsunami. It's unrelenting. It just keeps on going and going and going and going until you give up and you just buy the book. It's a tsunami. It's like it cannot be stopped. It goes until it wants to go, until it washes everything away. And then Gary leaves what I consider to be the most appealing benefit as the last bullet. So check this out. He says, the technique for having your products displayed and sold in the finest homes in your area with sales as high as $500 per home. This one strategy alone may be worth 100 times the cost of the book, and it's all yours on page 217. So I really like this because like he also uses page numbers now, not too much, but he uses page numbers, which again makes the credibility, the curiosity factor even stronger, because like, what could this be? And it's so easy to discover it. I just have to flip to page 217. It's so easy, but I gotta get the book for it. Then we have a call to action, like a simple call to action, call toll free. Then we have a money back guarantee. It's really simple, and it doesn't complicate anything. And at the end, we have a simple ad. It just has a headline, an introductory element, lots of benefit building bullets and desire building bullets, a money back guarantee, and the call to action. That's it. It's simple, easy, and anyone can do it. And then we have the order form itself, and I really like this this part here, which acts kind of like a PS in an email, or like nowadays sales letters also use PSs, which is for people who just skim through it. They don't want to read everything. They just skim through the order form, and it's for them because it says this oversized format book uncovers dozens of little goldmine businesses. It gives you everything you need to get started in your own profitable business in your spare time with minimum capital. So it's like it's a quick overview of the product, the main benefits, and the unique selling proposition of the product. So it's kind of like a uh, a unique promise in its own with some proof elements as well. And then the last thing that I really like is we have a very effective call to action style that even to this day is super effective, because instead of saying like buy now and that's it, we have something like, please rush my copy of A Treasury of Business Opportunities by David D. Seltz, featuring the 154 most profitable businesses I can start in my spare time for under $1,000. My money back in full if I'm not 100% delighted. So again, this has everything. It has the promise, it has the proof, it has the risk reversal, and it has the user-friendly proposition. It's just super powerful, and I don't know the specifics of how much this ad sell, but I'm guessing it was super powerful if it was written by Gary. And to be honest, something like this could definitely work today as well. If you were to sell a book, you can just use something like this, and people would definitely buy it, even on cold traffic. Obviously, you need to have some type of upsell to raise your average order value to make the media buying profitable, but something like this would definitely work. So thanks again for watching this. Hope you enjoyed this. Again, Gary Bencivenga is one of my copywriting heroes, along with Gary Halbert. So the two Garys are like the demigods of copywriting. But if you like this video, then make sure to like it so that the algorithm also gives it some love. Share it, comment on it, subscribe, and also leave a comment, by the way, with your the number one thing that you learned from this analysis. I really want to know, because I'm always refining these breakdowns. I want to make them as valuable as possible to people. Nobody else is doing something like this, as far as I'm aware of, especially at this level of detail. So I hope you're getting a lot of value from it. So thanks again. See you in the next one.